Good evening, JackJazzm. Having a pipe on the way home. And today it's the Peterson XL90. And I'm gonna be trying out this Arcadian Perique. Something that was recommended by one of my tobacconists. Picked up this Arcadian Perique and Royal Champagne. And I had a little bit of the Royal Champagne last evening. And probably got about a third into the bowl. And sat it down and didn't come back to it. It wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be smelling it. Has a very pleasant aroma to it when you smell it. But as far as smoking it from the bowl, it didn't transfer well. Not that it was bad, but it just wasn't the impression that I was expecting to come across. And this Arcadian Perique I was interested in because I wanted to see just how much Perique was in it. Being that they were selling it by the ounces, I didn't have any label to go by that would tell you what all is in it. So far, that Perique is very noticeable, pleasant. This is one of my more favorite Peterson pipes, primarily because of that chocolatey swirl stem. And that classical look. It's got that sterling silver harp on there. Excuse me. The weather has been pretty nice. Had a little short shower come in. They have washed away some of that pollen. I actually had a pretty banging headache as a result of how heavy the pollen became last week. So Thursday and Friday, it was giving me the business. But by the time I went out on the weekend with my daughters, I was good. this Arcadian Perique is a little bit dry, so I'm not trying to apply too much heat because you know when it's just puffing on some dry tobacco, it tends to burn pretty hot. And then I've also got my AC on, so I think that's the main culprit here. Not so much that the tobacco is dry. Trying to get a taste of what other tobaccos are in here other than Arcadian Perique. But for the most part, that's all I can make out is the Perique. Might have to turn this AC off because this is not staying lit. Yeah, my oldest daughter had a math competition on Saturday morning, so we were out early. It was amazing to see how quick the top 10, well, at the end of the entire thing, they had them separated in classes. No parents, no teachers were allowed to come in. Each classroom had two volunteers that were students at the high school that they had it at. My daughter's in middle school. My oldest is in middle school. My youngest is getting ready to come out of elementary. And the way they had it set up, the teacher wasn't even aware that she wasn't going to be allowed in the room. So all of the teachers and parents that did attend to support the students in the math club were all sitting in the cafeteria. So we didn't get to see any of what was going on until they had come to the last 10 that scored the highest in the competition. And it was the blitz round, which they held in the cafeteria. They had a projector there where everyone could see the problems coming up. They gave them the rules ahead of time. What's going on, Roger? Good to see you, Brethren. So they ended up having a blitz round where they had to buzz in their answers and once called upon give the answer. What was amazing was to see these elementary school to middle school students before the problem could even be finished being said or read, they were buzzing in and getting these answers, coming up with these numbers just that quick. It was amazing, and it was good for my daughter and her school because I think they were the only public school that attended. All of the rest of the students were from charter schools and private schools. It was good for them to see what type of level they could reach because this was their school's first year attending the math competition in a couple years. They hadn't had any students that qualified for it in a couple years or that were interested in being a part of that math club. So, it was pretty interesting and she enjoyed it. The teachers learned something from it and learned what they can go back and show the students and be prepared for the next competition. So that was interesting. That was my first time being at a math competition. Goju, what's going on, brethren? Good to see you. You guys are just tapping in. This is the Peterson XL90 sterling silver, and I'm trying to enjoy, attempting to enjoy. Yes, sir, mathematics. My oldest daughter had a math competition Saturday. Thank you, thank you. I love the stem on this. One of my favorite Peterson pipes. Very classical look. But yeah, I'm trying to enjoy some Arcadian Perique that I picked up on Saturday. I picked up Arcadian Perique and Royal Champagne. And I don't know if it's my AC or the fact that it was a little bit dry, but it won't stay lit. But so far, the Perique is very noticeable in it. It's pleasant, not overwhelming. So we're gonna try to light it up again. I waited 100 years at that light. I'm taking the second option of a route home today, so we'll see the comparison in the time it takes to get there. So far, I just waited at that light for a long time. Are you guys getting the pollen, the heavy pollen in your areas where you are? Oh, you're familiar with Arcadian Perique? My first time having it. I'm enjoying it so far, as long as I can keep it lit. I'm getting a little bit of a sun shower here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Got you. Yeah, and that Perique is definitely noticeable. I like the spicy flavor of Perique and how Latakia, I know Latakia is in this, but Perique and Latakia, I like the way they add to the flavor of whatever they're put with. We just drove out of the sun, so we're getting a little bit of a heavier rain now. So it does have Virginia in it. I've been trying to see if I could taste what else is in this blend. So far, I haven't been able to get past that Perique as far as picking up what else is in it. So there's Kentucky, Virginia in it. Is it just Kentucky, Virginia with Perique? Okay, the Orientals I can taste. He says Burley, Kentucky, and Virginia. Okay. Can't quite taste the Burley. Is it a toasted Burley or? I'm trying to make sure. So you have some in the cellar. I didn't see the rest of it. The rain has slowed down now. It looks like the sun's trying to peek back out from behind the clouds. It's raining just enough off and on today to keep the roads a little damp. Like it's gonna be a pretty spring. Appreciate you, Goju. You enjoy the rest of your evening, brother. But yeah, that math competition, the first place champion ended up being a 4-year-old boy. And he's from Asia somewhere. Most of the clubs consisted of kids from the East, you know, India and Asia. And then the rest were mostly comprised of African Americans. But to see all those kids in those different age groups, and then the champion be a 4-year-old, I mean a fourth grader, I'm sorry, not a 4-year-old, fourth grader, it's quite impressive. He literally was the smallest kid there. Second place was a young lady, also from Asian descent. I believe she was in middle school. As a father, especially of young ladies, I try to make it a point to show up to everything they have, so they have that support of a male figure, and not just any male figure, but somebody that's been there for them, been there at the day they were born, and been encouraging them and talking to them. You know, as fathers, it's better to have actions for them to see, because that's what they're going to remember. A lot of what we say may go in one ear, come out the other, but what we do, they'll always remember. Arcadian Perique. Peterson XL90. Very pleasant. I did a taste test. Started a bowl on that Royal Champagne. I have to do a video on that one. One thing I can say about this Arcadian Perique, didn't let me down. I would put this in the natural category. The flavor that it has, very natural flavor. You can actually smell the Perique in it. Onion, what's going on, brethren? Good to see you. How's you? With the stand and that pretty chocolate swirl stem. With this Arcadian Perique. And enjoying it. Thanks for letting me know. I did notice it was telling me to reconnect a little while ago, but I haven't seen it doing anything since then. On my end, it's looking okay. It broke up on me one time though. It's starting to do a lot better than it was when I started out doing these lives. I'm gonna have to sit down and actually start doing videos the old way so you guys can understand what I'm saying. Seems good now. Okay, cool. Got about 2 more exits before I get to my exit. So I'm just taking my time here. Saw that poker your daughter got you. That's beautiful. My girl's not old enough to buy me pipes yet. But I'm still looking for a good poker. Honestly, the reason why I don't have most of the pipes that I like is because I have this thing with seeing the pipe and looking at it and feeling it in my hand before I purchase it. Yeah. She felt weird buying it, I can imagine. But she definitely did a good job. That's a beautiful poker. Yeah, this was a little bit dry. Hey, I hear you. I hear you. They got a couple more years to go before they're able to do that. But yeah, when I first put this in here and was trying to get it started, it kept going out on me. I do have my AC on because it keeps raining off and on. So I know I was dealing with that, but after I stopped belly aching about it, I guess it decided to go ahead and stay lit. So it's been doing pretty good. You know a whole lot better than I do about trying to keep a pipe lit while you're talking. It took me a while. I was trying to figure out if I can taste any other tobacco in it, because the Perique is very obvious in it, even from the smell. But Goju was on a little while ago, and he said he has some of it in his cellar, and he said it actually has uh, Kentucky, Virginia, Perique, Latakia, and Cavendish in it. I can't make out the Cavendish in it. I'm wondering if it's a toasted Cavendish, because toasted Cavendish tends to blend a little bit with Latakia and Perique. Oh, he also said there's Orientals in it. I can make out the Orientals. We're down past halfway into the bowl, and now I'm having to light it again. The tobacco is dried out. Definitely worth a try. If you like that spice, definitely one to go with. This is something I definitely get again. I got about an ounce or two of it that I picked up. And I also picked up Royal Champagne. So I'll try to do a video about that one as well. And if I'm able to get into a space where I have pretty good lighting, I may try to do another video tonight where I actually record it and then upload it. So I don't have to worry about the connection going in and out. Maybe put some music in the background like I started out doing with my short videos. I missed that message. I was trying to get off my exit. I didn't catch that one. How many pipes total do you have in your collection now, Onion? I know you had 6 320s the last time I was asking you about that, and watching your videos with the 320s. Okay, looking forward to the Royal Champagne. Yeah, if I can get some good lighting tonight, I'll go ahead and record a video and then try to upload it. I started on it last night in one of my Maestro Baralis, the one that's a sitter, and then ended up having to set the bowl down to do some stuff. 7 320s total, 15 pipes total. I have about 15 as well. I actually ended up giving away the only Meerschaum pipe that I had because I didn't like the fact that the draw hole was about a half an inch above the bottom of the bowl. A very deep bowl, but I could never finish the bowl because of that draw hole being a little bit too high. So I ended up giving that one away. And then one of my crowns I gave to my hat guy that I buy my hats from. He had a bad experience where he ended up buying a cheap pipe. He wasn't aware of the different qualities of pipes. He was in New York, that's where he buys his hats. And said the pipe ended up cracking on him. He didn't even have it for a year. So I explained some things to him about cadence and not smoking it too hot and everything. So I ended up giving him a pipe tool, 2 pipes, and 10 of McBaron vanilla. Stay in your lane, guy. McBaron's vanilla cream flake, the flake, because that's one of my favorite flakes. And I told him next time we get together, we'll have to do a video where he lets me know what he thought of it and then how his journey's going with the pipes. You know, a lot of people end up, yes sir, love the flake. I think flake burns better than loose tobacco, hands down. I haven't had any bad experiences with any flakes that I've tried so far. But Mac Baron's vanilla cream is my favorite so far. There's a lot of them out there I haven't tried yet, but so far that's my favorite. Those Virginias, really sweet Virginias, but not really sweet, but they're sweet to the point where it's very pleasant. And I don't know how you do your flakes, but I don't do the rub method because I like the way they burn, fold and stuff, and I'll twist them a little bit once I get them in there. I guess I got to do a video on that too so folks can see how I do my flakes. But yeah, I'll fold it one time, fold that flake, put it down in that bowl, and twist the top a little bit. Oh yes, folding stuff is the way to go. It burns nice and slow and even. I love it. I haven't smoked any flake in the corn cob, the one corn cob I got, because everybody says you have to have at least one corn cob to try your new tobaccos in. But I really didn't enjoy the stem that came on it. I have the and actually I can't think of where it is since I moved into my new place. But I have the Legend Missouri Meerschaum, and I don't like that stem. It too much builds up in that one because I don't use the filters. I don't like using filters. I feel like it takes away from the flavor of the tobacco. 2 hours and 56 minutes. That's a slow burn. That's a good burn. I don't think I've ever had a pipe go 2 hours. I've had a couple go an hour, easy. Didn't even realize that it was going that long until I look at the time. But I've never have had any to go more than an hour. That's awesome. And which 320 was that? Do you remember which one it was? I try not to use my two too much. They're two of my favorite pipes. I try not to use them too much because I don't want to overdo it. The Roma KS. Oh yeah, that's a good size bowl. I expected my Luca, the my Roma Luca 8320, the big rusticated one. I expected that to go a lot longer than it did, but that gave me about 45 minutes to an hour. I smoked a couple of different tobaccos in that. But I love that pipe. It just feels so great in the hand, especially with that rustication on it. And it's actually solid and balanced enough to be a sitter. I just don't like the mouthpiece of my stems touching, the table or, wherever I am. So I normally take my pipe lighter or something and have it up under there while it sits. Yeah, vanilla flake, great smoke. I got 110 in the car and I keep one in my bag. Leather pipe stand. I've never seen a leather pipe stand anywhere that I've gone. I guess I have to look online for that. I did have one that was some type of metal and wood, but I ended up giving that one away. I've given away a couple pipes that I've come across. If a pipe's a little bit too decorative, it looks more like something that needs to be on display instead of smoke, I end up giving them away. I like all my pipes to be functioning pipes. This Arcadia is nice though. Definitely try the Arcadian Perique. Some good stuff. I'm going on 37 minutes right now with this video, and we're at the bottom of the bowl. Still got a little ways to go, so this is about a 45-minute smoke with it being dry. So I could imagine if it was properly hydrated, you can get well over an hour out of this Arcadian Perique, at least with this pipe. This is my first time smoking it, not the pipe, but the Arcadian Perique, and this is a pretty decent pipe by Peterson. One of the first pipes that I ended up picking up. My first pipes that I started purchasing were Petersons, and then started getting into the Nordings, and then that's when I started adding some more of the Italian pipes. I love those Italian makes, most of their makes, especially Maestro Beraldi. I like the fact that you can easily find the shapes that they make. The second one I have, the Sitter. I haven't seen that anywhere else. So other than the number that's on that one, I don't know what that one is called. I believe I have done a short video on it before. I can't recall if it was a video with music and me just smoking it, or if I was actually talking, but I have had it in the video before. Yeah, it seems like when I'm still, the AC is taking this out. And the fact that I'm at the bottom of the bowl. Flat Cap Piper, what's going on? Good evening. How's it going there? Appreciate you checking in. Flat Cap Piper, we're talking about this Arcadian Perique that I'm smoking in my Peterson XL90. No problem. I appreciate you stopping by, man. It's always good to hear from you. You enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm getting ready to head in myself so I can get out of this uniform and this gear. That's some good stuff. Flat Cap Piper, you familiar with the Arcadian Perique? If not, it's definitely one to try. You like tobacco with a little spice to it, a bit of a kick? This is one of them. Definitely one to check out, man. I also have some Royal Champagne that I started to try yesterday, but ended up having to set the bowl down. So I'll try to do a video on that one as well. Smells great, but we're gonna see how it smokes. Do a full bowl and give it a proper trial run, and try to give a review on it. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's had this happen before, but not this particular pipe tool. I have another one that has a little bit of a reddish tint to it with the wood. It's a little bit thicker than this. I went to pick it up and saw that the tamp side of it, which is flatter than this, had broken off. It actually separated from the little narrow piece that they had it connected to. So it's always good to have extra pipe tools and pipe lighters in your arsenal. You got to be a collector of those because things happen. This bowl is just about done. So I need to make it into the gym tonight. I've been off probably about 3, almost 4 days now, so I need to get back in there. You know how the body gets when you take those breaks. That soreness starts to set in, and you can't take that break. It's like starting all over when you get back in there. And anytime I'm getting back in the gym, I normally take about 2 or more weeks off from the tobacco, so I'm able to gauge exactly where my body is fitness wise. As we slowly age, we have to stay on top of that stuff because things start to change the older we get. Just a part of life. You got to enjoy the journey. I'm a father. I like to be able to keep up with my kids. I'm the type that go out and get on the skating ring with them, and 2 years, oh yeah, you're gonna be really starting over from scratch. Yeah, I get in there and get on the treadmill, pace myself, and then get myself up to a good jog. And I try to do a minimum of a mile. I normally end up going over it because now these gyms are so fancy where you can put. But yeah, it helps to keep your mind off of the pain you may be feeling when you're on the treadmill that it normally cause you to stop early. Having that distraction with something in front of you that you can focus on helps you to go a little longer, and it shows that the mind is actually stronger than the body, because when you pay attention to that body might want to quit. But once you get your focus on something else, just see that you can do a lot more than your body's making you think you can do. Definitely a mind over matter situation. Once you get that down, it becomes pretty easy. And you get the results that you're looking for, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, fitness-wise. Yeah, I think that's about it for that bowl. See if I can get you guys another look here. Oh yeah, you can see that swirl on that stem right there, really good. The little Peterson stamp on that side. That XL90 that they stamped into the shank. The stamp that they used to identify there. It's some little symbol underneath Peterson 925 with another stamp of a little C. And then on this side you got Peterson with the little Irish harp in there. On that stainless steel band. I don't know how well it shows up, but you got some really nice bird's eye on there. And some nice grain on there. Well, all right, folks, I appreciate you once again for riding with me as I have a pipe on the way home. It's JackJazzm. Y'all enjoy your evening.